Hello everyone, in today's video, I'm going to talk about a developmental theory which is the psychosocial theory by Erik Erikson. Before we start, here is an overview of what I will be discussing in this video. I'm going to tackle about the biography of Erik Erikson as well as information about his psychosocial theory, including the nursing meta paradigm. And lastly, a short summary of what I've discussed. So let's get started. Erik Erikson was born in Frankfurt, Germany on June 15, 1902 and died in the year 1994. In his early life, he never met his biological father and was raised by his mother and stepfather. During his youth, he struggled with his identity. At the Vienna Psychoanalytic Institute, Erikson studied child development through the Montessori method that focused on psychosexual and developmental stages. He was able to earn a diploma from the same institute, but he never got a formal degree. Erikson was recognized in Boston as the first male to practice psychoanalysis, and from 1936 to 1939, he also worked at the Harvard Medical School and Psychological Clinic. In addition, he was a professor at Harvard and at the Medical School of Yale. As stated earlier, Erikson was a 20th century psychologist who established psychosocial development and the idea of identity crisis. The psychosocial theory developed by Erikson was a modified version of the theory of Sigmund Freud, the 5 stages of development. Freud claimed that only in childhood was the personality shaped. The psychosocial theory, unlike his theory, consists of 8 development stages. This theory believes that personality is developed throughout an individual's lifespan and emphasizes the social nature of the development of that person rather than its sexual nature. Consequently, Erikson suggested that how people interact with others affects their sense of self, or what we call ego identity. Each stage of the psychosocial development of Erikson focuses on a central conflict. He says that children do not immediately complete each stage on a predetermined schedule, but instead, people face generalized challenges throughout their lives. The ways they overcome these challenges decide whether at a specific stage of development they progress further or stagnate. Here are the 8 stages of the psychosocial development by Erik Erikson. The first stage undergoes the psychosocial crisis of trust versus mistrust. This stage starts at birth and lasts until the age of around 18 months. During this stage, the child is uncertain about the world they live and looks for stability and consistency of care towards their main caregiver. In this stage, achievement will lead to the virtue of hope. By creating a sense of confidence, the child can hope that there is a chance that other people will be their source of support if new crises occur. Failure to attain the fundamental virtue will lead to the growth of fear. Autonomy versus shame and doubt is the second stage that happens between the ages of 18 months to 3 years. There is a growing sense of personal control over the child's physical abilities during this stage, as well as a sense of independence. Progress at this point will contribute to the virtue of will, where through their enhanced freedom, the child is empowered and supported. The child will feel inadequate if the child is overly supervised and feel a sense of shame and doubt about their abilities. The third phase concerns initiative versus guilt. During this time, by directing a play or some other social activity, the kids are able to assert themselves. Being able to do this will develop a sense of initiative and feel secure in their ability to lead and make choices with others. The fourth stage focuses on industry versus inferiority between the ages of 5 and 12 years old. The teacher plays a vital role in the life of the child at this stage, as they teach them specific skills. Completion at this stage will lead to the fundamental virtue of competence, in which the child feels confident in their ability to carry out tasks. On the other hand, failure leads to a sense of inferiority, where the child thinks that society is demanding. The fifth stage, which is identity versus role confusion, focuses on discovering the sense of self and personal identity through the exploration of values, beliefs, and aspirations during adolescence. This is a crucial stage in which the child can learn what roles he or she will play as an adult. Fidelity, which includes being able to devote oneself to everyone else on the basis of embracing others in spite of ideological differences, will be the fundamental virtue achieved at this point. Stage 6 is about intimacy versus loneliness, which takes place during young adulthood. The key conflict focuses on the development of intimate, loving relationships with other people, and the achievement of the virtue of love results in this point, while the opposite leads to isolation, loneliness, or depression. During middle adulthood, the seventh stage occurs about the age of 40 to 65. Individuals aim at achieving generativity during this stage, which corresponds to making their mark on the world by creating or cultivating things that will outlast an individual. This includes raising children, employee efficiency, or participating in different community events. Progress at this point leads to a sense of usefulness that contributes to the virtue of caring, while failure leads to limited engagement in the world. The final stage of ego integrity versus despair starts at about age 65 and ends at death. During this stage, the individual reflects on what he or she has accomplished during the course of his or her life and will develop integrity, knowing that he or she has a successful life. Those with regrets might feel bitter and despair. Success in this stage leads the individual to the virtue of wisdom that allows them to look back with a sense of closure and completeness on their lives. Erikson's theory is beneficial in the field of nursing in a way that it helps in analyzing the patient's symptomatic behavior in the context of their past and current experiences. When patients' resolutions of previous psychosocial stages have been so faulty as to seriously compromise their adult development, they have the opportunity to rework early development through the relationship with the therapist. Finally, Erikson stated that the object of psychotherapy is not to head off future conflict, but to assist the patient in emerging from each crisis with an increased sense of inner unity, with an increase of good judgment, and an increase in the capacity to do well according to his own standards and to the standards of those who are significant to him. Here is the nursing meta-paradigm of the psychosocial theory. Erikson's developmental theory is known to be imperative to nursing practice. Nursing is done when nurses can better assess and determine their patient's developmental stage and provide individualized patient care. On the other hand, Erikson emphasized in his theory that the environment played a vital role in self-awareness, adjustment, human development, and identity. From his first stage of development, there must be trust with the environment for humans to develop a virtue of hope. If the trust failed, the individual's personality will likely be withdrawn. Health refers to the development of healthy and mental physical well-being of the person after successfully mastering each stages of Erikson's stages of development. Erikson's stages are known to build on the next stage, thus contributing to the formation of the total person. Lastly, the person refers to an individual that will progress through Erikson's 8 stages of development by either mastering or failing the stages. Here is a short summary of this presentation. Before I end this video, let me share a short quote from Erik Erikson about the importance of knowing thyself. The more you know yourself, the more patience you have for what you see in others. And that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching.